Welcome to the Leading with Love podcast. I'm your host, Shauna Arthurs. The purpose of this podcast is to touch your heart, expand your soul, and help us all be everything we came here to be. We have interviews with amazing humans and solo episodes as well, all made to bring more love, more joy, and wisdom into your day. It's a growing list, so check back often and let's dive right in. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I am so excited today. I have the most beautiful, heart-centered, incredibly dynamic woman as a guest today. You are going to love her. I love her. And we just had the most incredible conversation, even just getting ready for this conversation. And so I have so many things to ask her and so much that she has to share with you. But just very briefly, as I know her and as she will expand upon now, she has this incredible background in education and facilitation of things, but she also, and brain rewiring. This is what she does for her clients, but it goes so much deeper than that and so much wider. And she is always evolving and learning. So she just keeps bringing new information and insights and just her incredible essence and energy to her life, to her clients, to me, to the world. And so this conversation is going to be a gift to me because you're going to hear of like just the breadth of stuff that this incredible woman has to share, from the structural side of it with the brain and the rewiring and the thoughts, right to spirituality and your soul's purpose. And it's just, it covers the gamut in the most beautiful way. So without any further keeping you waiting, I'm going to bring on Ms. Lisa Scott and we will get started.
Thank you.
Here she is.
Oh, what a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much. I love it.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, we were just saying there's no place I'd rather be right in this moment. So thank you very
I
much.
love that. I love that. I feel the same way. I'm so honored. So I have, obviously, as I said, lots of questions for you, but if there's anything you'd like to share, and it's okay if not, to introduce yourself and who you are, please feel free.
No, right now I don't.
I love that.
We're just going to
That's the
evolve.
truth.
We're just going to evolve as we're talking, because
Okay,
that's what it is for
exactly.
me. That's what it is for us. Yes.
Exactly. So, well, then let me just touch in on, we were just talking before we came online about, I'll share with everyone listening and watching what I shared with you, which is, if you haven't heard of it, there's this thing called human design, and also gene keys, which draws from human design and takes each of the 64 codons, they're called, in human design, and takes them even further and deeper. And it's incredible work. It almost feels like, okay, it actually does feel like it was divinely given to the people that received this information. Like Mozart has music in him, right? It's just, whew, I'm getting shivers on that, and that means truth is being spoken. So these things are gifts for us to understand the blueprint of who we are as a human being in this lifetime. And for years, this stuff was shared with me with well-meaning, beautiful, conscious friends, tried to tell me about human design, tried to tell me about gene keys, and I just was not interested. And as I was saying to Lisa before we came on the air, when someone finally got through to me, I sobbed, like bawled like a baby when I really felt that it really was the truth, and it saw and expressed and articulated what I'm here for. It was so resonant. It was so true. It changed my life, actually, really, truly. And I know that you do this work and bring this as one of many tools that you have to your clients. And I'll be done in a second, but when you told me you're a projector, and how you expressed that this manifests in your life and gives you the exact structure and strategy of being and way to handle, like it's exactly who you are. I get that. So will you tell us more about that?
Oh my goodness. First, I need to back up. And when you said about the resistance that you were feeling initially, I said, oh my God. Me and you were like, we're riding the same energetic wave, regardless of our energy type.
Yes,
So
we
I'm
are.
understanding, okay, wait a minute. I'm going to look deeper into manifestors because this is
Ooh.
crazy.
Okay.
Because initially I felt the exact same way as you when I thought about, I had already come from years and years of a religious background. And because I had exited that, the process of being locked into anything. When I was hearing about human design, I said, oh no, because I kept hearing about these types. And I said, oh no,
Exactly.
to put me in a box of a type, no, it's
Exactly.
not happening. It's not
Especially
happening.
as you're growing consciously and you're letting go of structures and self
Yes.
beliefs and identities, you're like, that's no way. That's not for me,
Yes,
right?
exactly. And I resisted it for I don't even know how long, but it kept coming back into my energetic sphere.
Okay.
And when that happens, I pay attention.
Mhm.
And I said to myself, instead of deciding that you already know something about something you have no clue about, how about you
Okay.
approach this with curiosity? And when I gave
Beautiful.
myself permission to approach with curiosity and began to, I gave my name, my date of birth, all of that, and I started to read. I
Mm.
said, this is me.
Ah,
This is me. It was a complete validation of
mhm.
every experience
Yes.
that I have ever had in my entire life. And I said, this
Yeah,
is
it puts
it.
everything into perspective.
Yes.
Everything. I didn't want to believe
Yes.
it, and I was just
Oh my
blown
goodness.
away.
Oh my goodness. And in particular, to find out that I was a projector. I'll tell you, just in particular, what I had been going through, especially being online as someone who presents my services online. What I could not figure out about myself was, a lot of other people that exist online, they talk about this consistency. You need to be online, you need to show up this way, you need to do
Yes.
it every day, this type of
We
thing. And
refuse.
yeah, and I attempted to do this ever since I existed online back in 2011. And what I kept experiencing was that, number one, I could only come out when I was inspired to.
Mm.
And but the other thing about this was that um, I literally had nothing. Like, I couldn't even go inside of myself and attempt to gather anything
Right. It's like you're
to
forcing
try.
something, even though
Yeah,
we're totally different energies. When you're not on, it doesn't work. And
it
it's good to
does
know that
not.
and honor that and just give yourself permission to not be on all the time.
Exactly. But
Yes.
I found out that because my sacral is completely undefined,
Mm.
and other energy types, they have that definition in their sacral, in order, the sacral being responsible for your life force energy.
Okay. Yeah, for
And
anyone listening, I mean, yeah, that's your sacral chakra, sacral area. Yeah, please
yes,
expand on that because some
and
people may not know.
yes, yes, yes. I love that you're interjecting that, because I'm just going to
Sorry.
flow, just,
Yeah.
um because we don't have that constant energy or that constant resource within ourselves to pull upon, then we are what's considered non-energy, and a non-energy type.
Oh, cool.
And what this also means is that it means a couple of things. First of all, that throughout the day, and a person, every projector needs to pay attention to and study their energetic patterns. Like, I've studied mine because it affected me so deeply and so greatly. I mean, to the point where I went to a couple of doctors to try to find out, why am I so void of energy? Like, why am
Wow.
I okay one minute and the next minute I'm not, the next minute, but
Right, yes.
I just, I'm on, or I'm off. Like, that's it. That's it. And of course, they didn't find anything. They did not find anything to reflect why this was happening, anatomically. So
Yes.
we are completely talking the mechanics of your energy. understanding
Fascinating.
every single solitary aspect of the mechanics of your energy.
Yo!
And when I understood that not only was my sacral undefined and I didn't have this constant resource of energy to pull upon, but also your motor centers the within your body graph. If it is not for projectors, our motor centers, and I don't know what they're all called yet,
Mm-hmm. There's
but
so much to learn there.
your motor center, if it is not connected to the throat, this is going to blow you away,
All right,
Sharon.
I'm ready.
This is
Lay it
going to
on
blow
me.
you away. Our motor centers are not connected to our throat.
Okay.
And what this means is the strategy of waiting for the invitation from the other is what's allowing us to be able
Opens it up.
to open up the throat and speak
Wow.
out. So, as projectors, we have come into this space. As projectors, we have collected an enormous amount of wisdom and information and knowledge.
Yes. I
Not
see that in
even
you,
not even just
unquestionably.
here,
Yeah. In all lifetimes.
pre
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
pre
Yeah.
being here.
Yes.
So what we've tended to do is, because we have all of this stored, if anyone comes into our energetic space and they begin to express, whatever it is that's going on with them,
Mm-hmm.
we have the ability to organize that energy, to assist a person to effectively and efficiently utilize that energy,
Beautiful.
to identify gifts and talents.
Mm-hmm.
All of this exists within us. We have the ability to see deeply,
Right.
to think deeply.
Yes.
So all of this is what we're giving as soon as our aura comes into the auric space of
Of
someone else.
someone else.
And it goes out like this, and it just hones in, like do 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 do,
For those of you
hones in.
listening, she's putting her hands in an arrow out in front of her because it's a
Yes.
podcast too.
So it's like it comes to a point and goes right toward that individual.
Woo!
So
Like a
we're
focus.
yes,
Laser
it's a
beam.
deep focus.
Mm.
And what I learned very quickly was, okay, wait a minute. First of all, once I'm invited by the other, is when all of that wisdom and power and all of that has been, it was an invitation for
Right.
us to do that, to give that
And then it's like
information.
this gorgeous ocean of knowledge and expertise and specific to the person in front of you because you
Oh,
also have that beautiful awareness of what you're seeing and bringing that emotional intelligence and we have spiritual intelligence to the person in front of you.
yes,
Yeah, I got you. I feel that.
yes. And if we are doing this without being invited,
Does it fail?
it brings, first of all, to the individual, it feels to them like dominance,
Right.
or it's uninvited.
Right. You're
It's,
trying to give them advice and they didn't ask for it and it doesn't
yeah,
go well.
you're bulldozing something, or
Right.
you're,
Ooh.
just everything that's not what that individual would want, nor
Right.
would we, but we
Right.
didn't
Right.
understand.
And they didn't
We
ask.
didn't understand. But what it would cause is, and I forgot what the exact theme is considered, but what it would cause for projectors is bitterness.
Ooh,
And
is that okay?
yes, and that bitterness
Wow.
for us is why, they said what they said, or
And I
they
have this
said.
beautiful wisdom. I
Yes,
can see what would
why
help.
wasn't it received?
Right.
Why wasn't it received? But here's the other part for a projector, is that our idea of success first first is because we were deeply seen and deeply valued first by the individual that's doing the
Ah,
inviting, and that more than likely, without our understanding, had never occurred to begin with. We were not being deeply seen,
right.
deeply heard,
Okay.
deeply valued
Okay.
for
Okay.
what we're bringing. So the
Right.
person is saying what they're saying, and perhaps they may have been asking for some type of advice or something
Right.
like that. But it's for us to understand whether or not we're being deeply seen,
Right. So there's
deeply
a difference
valued.
between someone who's just saying, "Hey, what should I do?" and, "Oh, no, no,
Exactly.
no. I see that you have this beautiful wisdom. Please, Lisa, you tell me, what do you see?
Yes.
What can I do? Because
Yes.
I see the
The
gosh,
value or
what's
the
coming to me are words like queen and just wisdom and
thank
like I
you.
see what you bring to me. Please share. That's a big difference than,
Yes.
hey, what should I do? Like utterly different
Yes.
woo energy. It's giving me
Yes.
shivers.
So
Okay.
I quickly, and still it's evolving, because this is
So
all
frustration,
a
bitterness.
complete embodiment. No matter your energy type, it's as you're learning your strategy and your authority, which apparently are the two. If you don't know anything else about human design, because it is a very complex tool and system as you're
Yes, it
beginning to
is.
study it.
Could take
But
yeah.
if yeah, but you if you don't know anything else, understanding and embodying your strategy and authority, if you don't do anything else, it will
It
transform
is transformative. It
your
made a
life.
huge difference for me. Just those few pieces. That little, like mine is the opposite, as we were talking about. So, as
Mhm.
a manifester, mine is giving myself permission to follow those hits when they hit right away, right away, right away. Because not everyone else understands. They think you're flighty or they think you're, zigzagging all over the place, which I am. But
Mhm.
that's how I work. And it's finally
Exactly.
given me permission to be that way and have it be okay and actually know not only that it's okay, but it's magic. It's creative force in this world. And I get to be that and know that I am that and own that, as you said, embody that without feeling guilty about it because the people in my life don't understand.
Exactly.
That's so
Exactly.
gorgeous. And I look
Oh,
at you and I think of like, I have some notes that I made and you use words like, you used to be a process facilitator. And as you said, organize. And I can see
yes.
that. I can see that you have this entire beautiful structure of, it's so amazing of who you are, just like percolating, waiting for someone to show up and say, please, and invite you into sharing what you are. And so bitterness, of course, and that
Of
makes
course.
sense that, you've had so many times when you've tried to help people and they just
Yes.
didn't receive it because you
Yes.
didn't have that energetic connection of please, I
Oh,
see you. I
and
love it.
Shauna, to it, what has been so absolutely amazing to me as I embody this
Mm.
is not this is not just about, because I would go back and collect the data. That's what I'm always talking
Yes.
about, because that's what I learned as a process improvement
Right.
facilitator. Is I used to not like data or numbers, or
Oh,
perceive that I perceived
right.
that I didn't, until I said, oh my goodness, data collection is so sexy. and
That's a
and
sentence you don't hear every day. I
Oh,
love
I
it.
love it. I love it because it shows us something. So in my mind, I am always
Mm.
going back to collect the data or understand what the data has shown me about what I have done, what I've experienced, this type
Wow.
of thing. And it turns out, because I'm a line one, which is an investigator in
Okay.
human design, that is exactly who I be. That is exactly what my life has
Oh.
been. And a line one as an investigator is someone who will repeat something over and will not repeat something,
Okay.
but will has the ability to continue to learn something over and over, or over time. And it doesn't I'm doing that because ultimately, not only is it assisting me, but because I have learned this process or this system or this way so deeply, I know all of the ins and outs, the
Mm.
intricacy, the DNA, the molecular structure of what you're talking to me about. So
You're a
whatever it
data
is,
holder.
yes. And
Yes.
what I've experienced about this waiting for the invitation, initially it threw me aback because I'm like, what?
Absolutely not, right? Yeah.
Wait.
Yes.
But then as I began to understand it, which didn't take, it probably only took a day
Mm.
to really understand,
Yes.
because I had gone back and collected the data on previous
And it was just
experiences
like flipping a
of
switch.
why it makes perfect sense to need to wait. Um, but to hear to hear that you should wait and to embody waiting and
Mm.
understand what it means to wait is something completely different. So it's
Yes.
you're either collecting information and, oh, I should wait for the invitation, or you're embodying waiting
Right,
for the
that
invitation.
feeling of patiently knowing that you're exactly where you need to be and the data is gathering and the
Yes.
person who needs it will show up. I can feel that.
Yes. And what I
Mm.
witnessed when I would go into certain rooms that I was still involved in, and what I noticed was an internal um, stance that changed
Okay.
inside of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So my stance before in going into certain rooms, just because I was sitting on the panel,
Mm-hmm.
was, oh, I know I'm going to say something about this because I have information to give. To, I don't need to say anything about this.
Mm.
And I can wait to be invited to say something about this. But it went to another level where I noticed that before I might be in a space where we're talking about, like-minded information, and my mind would be reeling with all of this information,
Mm-hmm.
to complete quiet,
Yes. I know exactly what
no
you mean.
mind chatter,
Yeah.
truly not
I
needing
believe
to
you.
say anything, and the peace
Mm.
and the rest that would come over me
I can feel
was
it.
astounding.
Isn't it though? It's also part of a conscious journey too, right? It's not necessarily just design. It's we've been
Yes.
born and bred to because we don't get seen and validated ever really by our parents, even
Ever,
like it's never
ever,
unconditional love, right? Ever. So it feels like water
ever.
in the desert when someone does, but
Mhm.
it's natural until it isn't to be waiting to respond to, like everybody knows this, right? It's like, oh, you're just listening to then say the thing that you want to say just
Yes,
based on what you were just
yes.
saying. But when you really just get present and be there with and for that person, that fades away. And that's a conscious awareness thing too, not just a
Yes.
design thing. It's a
I love
presence
that you're
thing.
saying that, because again, that brings me back to, I've already collected so much data on what you just talked
Hmm.
about not being present,
Right. We all have.
about that feeling of just uncertainty, or a lack of trust
Mm.
that the ethers are truly a universal library, that at any point I do not have to sit there and have you talking to me with me trying to figure out what I'm about to say, trusting that at the right moment, in the present moment, whatever is to be said, boop, just boop,
Exactly.
it's right there.
That's so funny. I've had already, so for those listening and not watching, I am nodding and smiling at Lisa because I'm hearing her say this. And even in the few podcasts that I've already recorded, I noticed that as someone's saying something, I there's a hit of, okay, there's something I want to say about that, but and then I just let it go because if it wants to get said, it will get said. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. And I'm not attached to that. And it's already been a lesson for me in being super, super present and allowing the conversation to flow, because really it's just coming through us.
Yes,
We're
that's
just the
it.
vessels, right?
That's it. That's
Connecting our
it.
energies and sharing whatever wants to get shared. And it doesn't matter if some point that I thought of a while ago does not get said. It really
Exactly.
doesn't.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
It really doesn't, everyone.
It really doesn't.
In case anybody's just unclear on that, but that's a big deal. And what you said about, gosh, I mean, I'm so present too right now that I almost don't have any thoughts, but we need to say things, because it's
No,
almost
I get
more
it.
energetically present than words become almost quite rudimentary when you're connecting energetically, and so they're so slow. Words are so slow and simple
Exactly.
compared to the energetic information exchange that is possible and that's happening right now, because we're already just like, yeah, we know. We're just nodding, both
Yes.
of us. I love
We're
it
just
so much.
nodding.
Yeah, exactly. Because and then the words come out, but we've already gone, yeah. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I
I
forget
love
now.
it.
It was something about,
I
oh,
love it.
accessing that quantum field. Okay, so we're going everywhere today. I know there was a time when I didn't want to talk about love or quantum physics or woo woo stuff like spirituality, but it's all the same thing.
Oh,
For me, it
it,
feels like science and spirituality are just two ways of us humans questioning and exploring how life really works and the questions that we naturally have. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The answers are always
same
the
thing.
same. It's energy, it's frequency, it's love, it's actually light. It sounds like a woo woo thing to say. It's also true. It's just the truth. Frequencies are measurable. We're electromagnetic beings and we are all connected, and it's really all one field. And so when you're talking about accessing um, energy, things that want to be said through you, it really is that presence, right? Nothing to do with human design, nothing to do with strategy. It's simply, I mean, meditation obviously is one
Oh,
beautiful way to get there and let go of
oh,
the mind chatter, right?
yes.
But when
Yes.
you're in your heart and not in your mind, in your little patterns and stories. Oh, for those, I'm just, yeah, in your head, in your heart.
Yes.
It's like this gateway or this portal when you're present to all the things, the
All the
downloads, the ideas, the knowing, the intuition, the yes and no energy, the things you want to lean into. Like there's so much there. Everything is there.
everything. I just shared a story on TikTok because I'm finding that. I mean, I think
You're
it's
on TikTok?
crazy. I swear, I
Ah,
think it's crazy that I'm on TikTok.
I
But
haven't done it yet.
what I love about TikTok is it keeps me focused
Okay.
on what I'm there to say. And it has been, because back to human design just for a second, part of my waiting for the invitation is to study something and be seen
Mm.
and be seen. Okay.
Okay.
So as I'm studying human design and as I'm embodying what's going on with human design, I'm sharing it on TikTok.
Oh,
Turns
cool. Oh, I'll
out
find
there's
you.
a huge audience for human design, especially projectors,
Right.
because of the deep conditioning. I mean, we're all deeply conditioned,
Yes.
but it's on apparently some other level with projectors
Right.
because of
And
all
very
open,
specific to
yes,
you.
all of the open centers. Uh, but the bottom line is acceptance of the bottom line for a projector is acceptance of being a projector,
Mm.
acceptance of the fact that you see. And this is my, I know this is my role because of all the data I've
Of
collected in
course.
the other
You're a
various,
guide.
as a manifest coach, as a rewrite and rewire your brain coach,
Yes.
as someone who understands process and all of these things that I've experienced in my life over time, I'm in a space to say, this is you. This
So
is you.
beautiful.
And I did a TikTok recently where I said, I just felt from the ethers. Tell them this is you.
Woo!
Yes, you can hear from
Yeah.
the ethers. Yes, you can.
Mm.
You're hearing. Yes, you are. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, no
Permission.
sooner than someone comes into your space, you're picking up on what's going on and you're able to organize and do all of these things in a matter of a couple of minutes. Yes, it's you. Yes.
You know what's
Yes.
amazing about that as I'm listening to you is I'm thinking about these kids or people. I think of TikTok as kids, but clearly it's not just kids.
It's not.
But I'm listening to you as a projector and having acknowledged that, first of all, because you didn't want to, right? And then embody that and really, really know what that is. And now going out as a guide to people who are, behind you on that path and maybe not super, super ready to acknowledge that. And your key factor is being seen. And
Yes.
you're literally giving that to the people who need it so that they too can embody and acknowledge being that projector
Yes.
energy or non-energy or all of it. It's like you're actually using what you are to validate what they
Yes.
are, and it's so
Exactly.
perfect. It's
It's it's
beautiful.
it's literally an embodiment. It is
Right,
literally,
right.
and I,
Oh, you just gave me a
Shauna,
gift
I
too.
just I just created on YouTube. I haven't done one video yet, but I said I am talking about embodiment. And I
Hmm.
created the embodiment room on YouTube just recently.
Ooh. So at the end of our conversation, we'll go through where people can find you because obviously people are going to want to. But you just gave me this
Yes.
beautiful gift because when I really embodied mine, which is being a manifester, and gave myself permission to follow those energetic hits without being worried about being irresponsible or flighty or, like I said, zigzaggy, always trying new things, and made it known to myself that
Yes.
this was actually my highest gift, was
Ooh,
putting my energy into something that calls me forth and feels like a magic to me, and actually then going ahead and embodying whatever that thing is for me to do in this world, like this podcast. ah um, I too am giving a gift to other manifestors of
exactly.
permission, because we feel guilty. Like I've always been told that I'm flighty and irresponsible, and I remember the first time I ever had any outside permission, and it's important, that concept of having permission from someone who understands you. It's almost unspoken sometimes. We
Yes.
don't need that from any. We don't. Everything is inside of us, but we're
Yes.
human and we are deeply
That's right.
conditioned, right? And
Yes.
we don't get told these things. And so I remember reading Barbara Sher's book. It's like, What Color is Your Parachute? I think it's called. And she said there are people out there who they want to explore things. And once they get the gist of something, they go on to something else. And this is how some people work. And I remember I was probably about 20 or 25 reading that. And it felt like such a relief because it's like this conversation. It showed me that it was okay to be like that it was actually a personality type. It was probably my introduction to that concept of personality types because I was young.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
now we're so embodied in this, in what we are. Okay, you're crystal clear, and so am I.
Yeah.
That we
Yeah.
are living, walking permission for other people to know that it's okay to be this way. Not just okay, but absolute magic in this world.
Oh my goodness.
Own the magic that you are, know who you are, and be that. Because that's what we need.
Exactly. And I'm always finding myself again bringing people back to you have collected the data
Hmm.
on not being you.
Yes. Oh, we all
You
have.
we
We all have.
it's there.
Mm.
It's even in the present. It's in the present moment because of the things that we desire that we won't accept.
Yeah.
We desire, but we won't accept that we desire.
And won't receive
And won't
fully,
receive
openly.
because yeah, you won't receive because you won't accept. When I was and all of this, and I'm evolving to understand all of the interrelationships and connect. So I might speak about manifest over here.
Yes.
Um body or human design over here, this type, but they're all
Yes.
interrelated and interconnected. And I
Yes.
this is one of the things when I was considering myself just, and this is what's so hard about for projectors
Okay.
is titling ourselves anything,
Right.
because I collected the data on the fact that no sooner than I would go into you know understand a process or a system, no sooner than I understood it, I was right back out again. And I said, what is going on? Okay, I understand this system, I understand this process. And what I mean by that is
Yeah, I want to know.
it was no longer it's like, okay, I got it. It's like my being has collected that information to add to, but it can't stay there in
Oh,
this
that's the same,
boxed
similar to what
in.
I'm saying. I can get the
Exactly.
gist of something. I've got it. It's in here.
Exactly.
It's in my library. I've got it. And
E-
it's like I'm a synthesizer of things,
Exactly.
right? And when someone shows up in
Exactly.
front of me, like a client, someone, like I can draw on this incredible library of things that I've studied, so many things and things that I know. It's all in there, and bring
Exactly.
forth what they need. And yet we're totally different
Exactly.
energy types. That is
Isn't that
so
amazing?
cool.
It's amazing. That's why I said I have to go and look at this now, because
Yes.
I need to understand, why
Right.
it's so synchronistic. Um,
Hmm.
and as I would, as a manifest coach, as I took on the identity, let's say it that
Of
way.
a
I love that.
manifest coach. Okay.
As
Yeah.
I took on the
Right.
identity of a manifest coach, what I noticed was that people would say that they wanted something, but yet they couldn't commit
Yeah.
to it. I.e., I don't care how long it takes.
I will have
I
this. I will.
don't care how long it takes. But also, what I began to understand that what I meant by this, because I'm saying what I'm saying, but I also needed to understand what I meant. So I begin to process, okay, Lisa, you're saying that and you understand, but you need to um, further, more deeply, go deeper to
Mm-hmm.
understand not only your words, but how to express this to another.
Right. And the more you do, the more of a gift you are to everyone who shows up in your
Yes.
sphere.
Yes. So part of this was, okay, wait a minute. People are bypassing their emotional state of being to
Mm-hmm.
begin with. They have things that are going on within them that, even though they're saying out of their mouths they desire something, but they have hindrances, they have unconscious programs. This is what took me to, okay, now I'm taking on the identity of a rewrite and rewire,
Yes.
and really understanding what unconscious programming is
Yes.
when it
I
starts to
love
happen.
how you say that. You really do that. Rewrite and
Oh my
rewire because you've
goodness.
done all this work of understanding. This is what I was trying to get at in my intro, and it's very hard to articulate how you
See?
bring, right? That you bring this structure of understanding and organization and how the brain works. But then there's also that energetic factor of, I'm not that we need to really get into Neville Goddard stuff today, but that
Oh,
type of thing where,
we can
okay,
do it. We
that
can do
how
it.
our imagination is so powerful in our self-image and how we see ourselves, and that is actually a structure that drives our lives until we see it and dissolve those things, right? And
Exactly.
then there's your design and how you work and how you don't, and why you get frustrated because you don't understand what your strategy really
Exactly.
is to help you thrive in this life. And there's just so many pieces in that puzzle, and you're just bringing it all to the table. It's so beautiful.
Oh my goodness. I when I started to understand, because I said, why are people saying that they want something? And I would process it through myself. And I would
Oh,
say, has there ever been a time that you've desired something that you've stopped or let it go?
right. Blocked
And it was
yourself.
like, okay, what has been your process? How are you able
Wow.
to not let it go? And it
Right.
was like, oh, as I'm I as a doubt comes up, or and I do find myself deviating or something like that, I ask myself, I begin to process, what am I saying to myself? What are
Right.
my inner conversations?
Yes.
Where did this what am I actually thinking about
What am I
this
believing about this
versus,
that's not
yeah, what am I
true?
actually believing
Hmm.
versus what I'm saying? And then what would happen with me is I would always be taken energetically in my mind. I would be taken to the exact energetic location as a young person that an event occurred.
Right. Of course.
This
Where
is
that
where
belief
it all
formed.
began.
Right. And
And
then
as
we
I
get
would
into inner child
process,
work. People think
yes,
that's, oh, that's silliness. No, no, no. These beliefs were formed when we were just little pumpkins. And our viewpoint is so narrow, and we just, we, oh, I'm not lovable, or make like the deep,
exactly,
deep stuff. Is and
exactly,
then we don't realize we're carrying all those beliefs along with us into our adult life, and they're unconsciously informing what we think we can have, what we can't, what we
exactly.
think we're worthy of. It's so gorgeous when you start to see and dissolve these things. Ah,
And that's where human design again was like so incredible because all of your unconscious programs are written.
okay, so you've gone way deeper into this than I have. So it goes and shows you
They're
what
already written.
what really.
Three. Okay, this is gonna blow you away, Shauna,
she's
because
she's
it
putting
blew
her hands
me
together,
away.
kids.
Yeah, I'm like, come on. Oh, I said, wait a minute, human design, wait a
Right?
minute.
Ooh,
You are given two different. You have your birth date, the day you were born, what you recognize, but 3 months before your birth, you were stamped with your unconscious programs.
see, this is why I had trouble believing this, because it was based on astrology. And to me, that always seemed kind of,
I
flaky or
get
whatever.
it.
But
I
I know, I
get
was like, come on, like at the day I was born. But boy, so for me, it was the gene keys, which, again, pull out even more detail from your human design. In their 64, it's based on DNA. As you
it.
know,
Uh-huh.
it's based on DNA.
Uh-huh.
So that's what got me, was the science of it. But what's
Yes.
interesting when you say
Yes.
that is I was a preemie.
Mm-hmm.
So I was born 2.5, 3 months before I was supposed to be, and barely made it. Like 3 pounds,
Uh-huh.
8 ounces, or some crazy little tiny thing in an incubator for a month. So
Mm-hmm.
that's interesting, because I'm wondering how that impacts.
Exactly,
Wow.
exactly. And
My,
what got
wow.
me about it, because astrology was an area that I wasn't willing to look into. And
No.
now I have human design, body graph, and all of the and astrology, and all of it is the same. It's the
Wow.
same because the bottom line is this. We are talking about energy and frequency.
Right. And things that we
Period.
don't know.
Period. It These energetic frequencies, the energy you wrote in on, so to speak,
Yeah, that's a good way
it
to put it.
already existed.
Wow.
It's
So it's
already
all
here.
this whole stuff was there, and you just happened to show up at this point in time and space, and here you are,
Exactly.
like, no, 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 I'm unique, but actually these
Exactly.
things do impact
Exactly.
who you are on this planet at this time for this lifetime.
Exactly.
As you're
It's
speaking, I'm
all.
thinking of the fact that we are mostly water physically, right? And that
Oh
even
my goodness.
energetically, the moon pulls us, right? I mean, sometimes it's a full moon and I don't remember, but I'm feeling it. Even that I
Yes.
was in denial of for a long time, but now I'm
Yep.
like, woo, full moon. Okay, I got you. I feel it. So of course we're going to feel the
Exactly.
pull of the planets and the gravitational differences, and so fascinating.
Exactly. So when I saw with human design that all of the, and I looked, of course you have to look, because this is an experiment, and this is what I want people to understand. You don't have to believe anything that we're
Right.
saying.
Just read it.
In fact, don't.
Right. Yes.
Don't.
Don't. Just go read it.
Resist it like we did.
Yeah.
Because
So
we did
powerfully. We're probably both very powerful resistors of things until we're
too.
not.
Oh, yes.
I bet.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Absolutely.
oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But just like with any other thing, I want people to understand
Mm.
how much you already know.
Mm-hmm.
You know. When you experience truth,
Yes.
you feel and you know.
Yeah.
And with this in particular, there's only the evidence of your life.
Yes.
It will show you the evidence of your life.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
my
It
point with
reflects it
this,
to you.
yes, and my point with this is when I saw, okay, this is the unconscious information and this is the conscious information. And I began to look at the unconscious conscious information. I said, "Oh my goodness. It
I
is
just felt your
written.
energy like, oh, she's shaking her head, folks.
Oh,
Oh my
it is
goodness.
written." But
Wow.
as I was saying before with the manifesting and, asking, how is it that people are saying, how is it that they're not able to remain committed to
Right.
what they're saying
Which is
they
very
want?
common.
And understanding that, back to the inner child work, taking myself back
Hmm.
to the origin, or at least my perceived understanding of the origin. Um, and I would go back to that moment. My consciousness would take me back to that moment. I was able to now objectively observe
Witness.
what occurred,
Yes.
not have any judgment about it, just process the information and say, "Oh, I get it."
Right.
And then have the opportunity to ask myself, "Okay, is this is this true of who you are now?"
Right. Who do you want to be now that you've seen this and it's not unconscious anymore?
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And when I would answer, no, this is not the truth of who I am now, it would just simply dissipate.
Dissolve. Ah. Yow. I love it. I love
And it
that.
would
That's your
allow,
embodying. Wow.
it would move. So that energetic, whatever energy it was taking up in my body
Yeah,
that I
just
was
go
not
away.
consciously aware of,
Yeah.
that would move out of my body,
Yeah.
or at least break up and dissipate
Yes.
out of my body,
Yes.
and allow me to accept in the other information. So we'll just say
It clears
that
up a
if
little
you're,
energetic knot and then new things can come in.
yes, it's
Beautiful.
like the word that's coming to me is energetic overload.
Okay. Right. You have so
So
much
if
in there
you're
that you can't receive anything
overloaded,
new.
yeah, it's just like cleaning out a closet, or you
Yes.
know, yeah, just like
There are
cleaning.
so many analogies, it's almost hard to pick one. It's like healing a
Yeah,
broken heart and all of the stuff that you have around that. And then a new person in a healthy relationship can come in. There's so many ways that can be. It's just the way it
exactly.
works, right? You got to clean it out
Exactly.
first.
Oh my goodness. I love that you said that, because I was in the kitchen one time. I, you know, every
Ah, I love
single
you.
solitary aspect of life is speaking. Every single aspect.
Mm,
I could be doing the dishes and
yes,
get a download of information
absolutely.
just being in the flow of doing dishes. I
Because
was
it's the
cleaning.
presence, not the action.
Yes. I was in the kitchen and I was cleaning out all of the pasta. I wanted to get rid of pasta out of my cabinets, but I
Right.
decided to start cleaning all of the cabinets. And I noticed that there was a duplicate of things. And I said, "Oh
Ooh.
wow, I already have this." Here we go.
Yeah.
I
It was
already
taking up space
have
in there and you
this.
had yeah.
Or, "Oh wow, I didn't know this was back here." It was like light bulb
And
after
it's
light.
your own kitchen. It's such a great analogy. Right? You're
Yes,
just
it was.
digging around in
I
there, cleaning it out, and you're like, what? That's kind of how it is. You're reminding me of this time when it was, I would say, a couple of years ago now, when I was really deeply going into meditation. I had stepped away from work, and it's probably around the time when you and I connected 2 or 3 years ago at least, meditating for
Yeah.
hours every day and really flowing around my own consciousness and my history. I could go back and forth in time and space. It was really cool. And I remember getting to a point where I could project my consciousness. It's, you're saying you were drawn to places. I remember just sitting there after, it's probably 2 or 3 hours into meditation. I know anyone listening thinks that's crazy maybe, but it's not. It's such a beautiful
Not at
healing
all.
mechanism. It's the way to heal and be present and
The,
move, like the master
the,
tool. Master tool. The. So
the.
there I was, and I remember this experience of casting my consciousness around in my history, because I had healed so much that I wasn't afraid of triggers anymore. I wasn't afraid of finding bombs or mines of
Hmm.
pain in my
Yes.
own history, in my own psyche. So I
Yes.
was so present and happy and healed and had done so much inner work that I was able to open heartedly cast my consciousness around in my history and look for knots, look for things that I hadn't seen before. And
Yes.
like you said, witness and observe them and understand and dissolve that, so that there were
Yes.
no boundaries and no barriers at all in my consciousness. It was really cool. And it's a little bit
Yes.
akin to what you're saying, but a slightly different
Yes.
process, but it's all the
Yes.
same thing. Energetic healing.
Yes.
And then your
And for
body heals.
anyone, I just got this inclination that so many people, when they hear someone say meditation, they perceive it to be hard work because they're perceiving it as one more thing I have
Hmm.
to add
And
to
dedicate time
everything
to,
that
which I
I'm
don't
doing.
have.
I want to take away your excuse for that right now
All right.
regarding the um, technique of auto suggestion.
Yes.
As you're going to sleep at night, if you have there's something you're working on, something in the forefront of your mind. I'll use something as simple as wanting to travel.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
instead of wanting to travel, I travel.
Yes.
I travel the world. I
I'm a
travel the world
traveler.
effortlessly. I'm a world traveler.
Yep.
Whatever, because you are literally searching your energy to see what resonates,
Yes. You'll have your
with,
own words.
yes, your own words,
I
your
love
own
traveling. I travel
affirmative.
all the time.
Oh, I I love that.
Yep.
I love traveling. I travel all the time.
Yep.
As you're going off to sleep, because as human beings, we enter into the theta state,
Yes.
this semi hypnotic state,
Hmm.
as you're going off to sleep. So you are not adding anything to your day because
That's
you're
a
going to
great,
go to
yeah.
sleep.
No extra
I
time required.
travel the world all the time,
Yep.
just saying it gently, suggesting to yourself,
Hmm.
I travel all the time. I travel the world all
All the
the
time.
time. Like you're really
Yes.
embodying
And feel it.
and feeling. Allow yourself to feel
Hmm.
how grateful you
It's
are
so
for
exciting to be at
traveling.
airports. I love being on planes. I love
Oh,
traveling. I love seeing all the people and the
oh my
energy of all the
goodness.
hellos and goodbyes and traveling places.
Yes,
And it's so incredible to be able to get on a plane, which I will be
yes,
this afternoon. And I actually
yes.
did this, Lisa. One of my manifestations, and I've read up, I read my journals sometimes, and
Mhm.
I wrote, I travel at least once a month. And the truth is, the past 2 years, even during the lockdown. So for the past 3 or 4 years, I travel at least once a month, usually twice or three times a month. I was in Hawaii last week, then I was in Vancouver, now I'm in Toronto. It's actually my truth because I love traveling. I love being on
Oh,
planes. I love being in airports. That's actually my truth. So I just
wow.
created and allowed a life where that is my truth. And
And
everyone's always like, "How do you? Why do you? Don't you hate?" And I'm like, "No, I love it. I
no,
do."
no. And I'm so glad that you're talking to me about this because I just accepted
Ooh.
recently that I love traveling, that I want to travel. Now, I have not traveled a lot.
Right.
I have
So I'm
not.
giving you what that energy feels like
You're giving me
with
what
my
that energy
enthusiasm.
feels like. And um you're giving me what that energy feels like, and I just yesterday, I needed to accept. And I'm saying needed to accept because I could feel the struggle going back and forth within myself. And if there's what I understand about this process of bringing something into reality that does not is not currently there, is
Hmm.
that if it is not currently there, it is because you are in conflict.
Yes.
That is
I was
part
just
of
saying that
what's
to my friend this morning. Oh,
yeah, this is part of
ah,
what's happening. But for me, I can literally feel the conflict.
right.
I can feel both sides. I can feel it
Because you
energetically.
have made a practice of looking for where those conflicting thoughts and beliefs and energy patterns are. You just spoke to that. So, of course, you can
Yes,
feel it because you've trained yourself to see and feel when something
yes,
is off or conflicting.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so oh man, I'm about to say it.
She's going there,
Well,
folks.
so my thing was struggling with whether I wanted to work,
Oh,
and the
mm,
fact that I don't.
okay.
I don't.
Nice. Okay. That's a
I
beautiful
do
up
not.
level you're about to have, my girl.
I do not. And yesterday when I was on this on the party that I was talking to you about
Yes.
earlier,
Yes.
it was just something about the presence of everyone that
Mm.
invited me. Here we go to the waiting for the invitation.
Yes.
What I'm coming to understand about this invitation is there is an internal energetic invitation happening as well. It's not just an external, I'm waiting for
Right.
someone. That's a part of it, and it's huge. But there's
Wow.
also an internal invitation that is happening
You're
when
giving
you're
yourself permission.
you have it. And I said it was just like a light, like
Wow.
Lisa, Lisa.
Hmm.
And I said yes to the invitation. Yes, this is what I want. Now, the accepting of what I want has moved, okay, that accepting has moved any conflictual questions about work at all out of the way
Okay.
to
Game
allow
on.
me. I put it in my phone yesterday. I said, what did I put? Because I someone was suggesting have all kinds of reminder,
Right, right, right.
whatever
Reflections of,
you
yes.
need. And I put in my phone yesterday for an alarm to go off every day. I travel the world with all of my children and husband. We meet new friendly people and eat new delicious food all the time.
Beautiful.
And I put it in my calendar because what
Woo!
I realized as I was processing this, because I also processed what was causing you not to accept this.
Is it a belief that that's possible?
It wasn't the possibility,
Okay.
it was me not including my family
Oh, okay. For me,
and
when it's belief that it's
perceiving.
not possible for
Yeah,
me. Okay.
it
Wow.
was
Cool.
perceiving that, oh, I'm doing this by myself, or do I have
Right.
to do this by myself?
So as soon as you included your kids and your sweetheart, that was it. That was the switch.
That was it.
Beautiful. So
That
this,
was it.
Lisa, this is perfect because normally on a call like this, I would say, I mean, and I still will, where can people find you? What do you, but you're right literally in the process of redefining what work looks and feels like for you. If that's to get there, that's not even a thing.
Yes.
So
It's not even a
it's
thing.
not even a
I
thing.
can only tell you now, and I'm glad to say it. I can only tell you now. You want to go look for me on YouTube at the
Right,
Embodiment Room.
exactly. You're going to
And
share your insights, but you don't necessarily want to attract clients. I hear you. Is that the
yeah,
case?
yeah, that's where I'm at right this minute.
Right.
And that's where it is. And it's where I'm finding my freedom. It's
Hmm.
where I'm finding my freedom. And as it evolves and does whatever else it's going to do, then we'll see what that is. But I feel most free right now in this space of not worrying about that.
Then I'm going to
Of
ask you something that, because for people listening and watching, okay,
Mhm.
we know that a lot of time the reaction is going to be, yeah, wouldn't we all love to not work, right?
Mhm.
But I want you, because you are such a stunningly effective manifester and allower, and you've done this so many times, what does that look like for you? The resources just show up and the
Yeah.
people are there, because money's just energy too, right?
Yes,
Like I mean, I
yes,
had a motorcycle come to me. When I'm really manifesting something, it just shows up. It's not about the
yes,
money at all. Actually, for me, it's about the love that I've already put out returning to me from
yeah.
somebody that I had already just poured love on for a long, that's how it
Mhm.
works for me, is a love exchange.
Yeah.
And things and people and resources come. For you, okay, I'm just traveling the world. My husband and family, we're meeting all these amazing people and delicious foods are, oh my gosh, it's all just showing up. How
I could just
do,
feel what it means.
yes,
You're causing my energy to go deeper into,
yes.
because this is what I said. I said, as I'm processing, I'm understanding more deeply as well. When I say I don't want to work, how I feel like this is showing up inside of me right now is any client that I do have, this is a long-term relationship. This is not me collecting a bunch of clients.
Okay.
This is a client that wants to ride this journey
I was
of
just thinking they're going
embodiment.
to be going around the world with you.
Yes, we're together. That person, because I already gravitate these women into my space.
Of
Women
course.
that are traveling, women that, and excuse me for just
It's
1 minute.
okay.
Hold on 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm sorry.
It's
1 second.
okay. Well, while we are waiting for Miss Lisa, let's
Okay.
see. I'm just going to
Sorry
move my
about that.
stuff here. It's okay. I'm reading my notes that I had written.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Um, I'm already gravitating these women into my space.
Hmm.
They're already travelers.
It tends
They're
to be women.
already
Okay.
Yes, they do tend to be women.
Right.
And I want to allow that to evolve. I don't know if I've landed
Okay. So
there
we're
in
open.
particular. But it's what it has tended to happen. And they're already so sure. Um, they're in a space of having already experienced so much in their journeys. These are professional women.
Yes.
They are
They're not
at
needy at the beginning
they're
of a
they're at the
journey.
height. They're at the height of their lives in
Yes.
whatever regard that is.
Hmm.
And I'll just share with you what my son said to me the other day about this, because I asked him, I said, because I was noticing a pattern of this type of woman. And I said to my son, what is it about me? What do you see? I wanted an
Mm.
objective, i.e., male,
I'm
i.e.,
looking at you
he's
like this
not a
because your
client.
camera's lagging a little bit, but I think we're
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. I don't know if
Hold
there's
on.
anything we can do about it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
I
know if
don't,
you can
okay.
see that, but you're a little fuzzy, but that's okay.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know what that is.
Hmm.
Um,
I can hear you loud and clear.
okay, good. So I asked my son, what are you seeing? What is this?
Nice.
And he said, they want to hear something that they've never heard before. They want something different. They don't want to go somewhere else and hear something they've already heard.
I love it. What a beautiful reflection
And
from your son.
yeah, and I said, wow. This screen really is very fuzzy. What
Yes.
happened? I don't know what
It's
happened.
okay.
I hope it's
It's fine. And again,
recalibrating.
this is a podcast too, so most of it will be audio. And we've
Okay.
had such a beautiful conversation that everyone will
Yes.
totally understand that it's a little fuzzy
I'm
right
like, what
towards the end.
happened? Yeah, but when he said that to me, I said, yeah. So that's
Beautiful.
it's that I must allow myself to be in the space of not work in order to gravitate.
Mm,
Not in order to gravitate, but this is where I'm at. And
yes.
who ends up valuing, deeply
Yes.
seeing, and appreciating that state of being
Right. They
is
can't be
who
drawn in to support that you until you are that you. That's how it works. You have to
exactly.
step into that first, and then, oh, this clients are like, oh God, you totally understand that I love traveling. You know, ah, I love
Yeah.
it.
And it's not
And they're
because
not, it's
I'm
not
out.
going to be work.
Yeah, it that is not
It's going to
work.
be like this joy.
Yeah. And it's not because I'm out here marketing and advertising and
Right.
I've often like heard this is like the underground. It's underground. It's you have to be found. Like this is not you're not out here um it's just not like everybody else. And
I
even though
agree.
I am still evolving to understand what that means
Mm-hmm.
by first accepting it.
Yes.
This is why the human design piece of it has been so instrumentally important to me
For you, I can see that you need to
because
experience that and then you're able to speak to it.
well, I needed to understand what a projector was to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, and to
Wild.
understand that it's about being seen. Or no,
Right.
not about being seen. That's a part of it,
It
but
is.
about me understanding who I am. I've
Right.
understood it with certain experiences and all of that. So that part of it I understand, but to understand that I not understand,
Huh.
accept that I do have a connection to all that is,
Hmm.
that I do speak to all that is,
Yes.
that I've said so often, if we truly believed that uh, that infinity, eternity, that all that is boundless and limitless,
Hmm.
I am here to accept that
And allow it in and
and
access it.
allow that.
Yes. And I'm
And
picturing this new client of yours, these new clients, seeing that. Like, that's the exact thing about you that draws them to you because they understand that the reason you are traveling with your family is because you declared. You said something in your write up that you sent to me about no more playing around. Declare. And you said that declarations are a technology. And I love that.
oh my goodness, I heard
Yes.
that from
Beautiful.
this beautiful young lady who embodies being a projector herself in every aspect. She actually showed up, and we know she showed up. Here's how, again, this is how
That's how it works.
powerful, this is how powerful we are as human beings,
Hmm.
regardless of any energy type whatsoever.
Yes.
I have been doing this work for a long time, evolving, going deeper, understanding all of these things. And I had come to this place of what we're talking about right now, right now. Um, Understanding, oh, this marketing advertising thing, I just, it's not me.
I agree.
How does this work? How do I do this? All of the questions that anyone would have being in a system that is telling you that this is how this needs to go.
Yes. I agree.
And witnessing the successes of other people, not knowing that they're not projectors, that there are other energy types, and yes, it would work for that energy type because it's
Mm,
meant for that energy type, and all of these things. I've come into this understanding of all of these things,
nice.
and but pre coming into that understanding, I would say, but it was unconscious. I wasn't quite aware that I was doing this, but I was calling forth a person who was embodying no marketing and advertising.
Oh, nice.
And here's how that happened. That happened because I kept gravitating toward extremely powerful women that were calling. I mean, they could just speak something out of their mouth, and it,
Woo!
it would it would just manifest into their reality.
I love it.
But marketing and advertising, and
Right.
I was like, so I would always notice that part.
I have that
And
too. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I
yeah,
I just want energetically to draw the people that I'm meant to help. So I completely
Exactly,
understand
exactly.
that it's
So
yeah.
because my being was picking up on this, I mean, I'm not communicating this because I didn't know how yet to
Right.
communicate. I could communicate that I didn't like, so my body understood, oh, she doesn't like
The
that,
no.
or
Yeah.
this is not what, but I would also be hearing, that's not you. That's not how it works for
I love how
you.
demonstrative you are.
I mean, it's like, no, you've already
Nuh-uh.
collected the data on that. You
Right.
see
You
what it
already
feels like
know
to
this is not for
struggle.
you.
You already saw, all
Yeah.
of this is happening. And then this beautiful embodiment of a woman shows up. I don't even know how it happened. And that's
It's
there
not
we
our
go.
job to know
It
the
doesn't
how,
even
right?
matter. I don't
Yeah.
even remember. I usually can remember a chain of events. I cannot remember the chain of
Cool.
events.
Because you just showed up.
She showed up. It was she was on some podcast because predominantly that's what she does. She does podcasts because she enjoys talking,
Yeah. I
you
love
know.
it. I love her
And
already.
And she talked about, this is where I got the declaration. When she said declarations are a technology, I instantly
Yeah.
understood.
You felt it.
And I wrote down, I'm going to read some of the declarations as I energetically went within myself and was processing what I knew myself to be, but I could feel that I was doing this little
That,
dance with,
right.
you know,
Yeah, because you're very, you can
something.
feel when you're not fully aligned and the frequency isn't clear. I got that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have some
And
beliefs or something. So you needed to integrate that and then bam. And now you have some
exactly.
declarations. Read them to me, my dear. And then I have to go catch a flight.
Woo! Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
I get
Well,
to. I don't
I'm
have
not
to.
gonna
I get to.
I'm
No,
not
no, I
gonna
want to hear them.
okay. I'm not
Definitely
gonna
have
read
time
them
for.
all,
Okay. The
but
juiciest ones.
I did say I declare allegiance to myself
Speak up a little.
and my higher self. I embody what I teach.
You do.
I I know the truth, I accept the truth, and truth works with me and I work with it.
Hmm.
My spiritual sight is keen, clear, and often.
Agreed.
I hear from the eternal realms and follow the direction given swiftly and without doubt. And I'll stop right there. I'll
I
stop right
love it because as you're speaking those, it's so clearly, obviously true about you. Those declarations, you must have made them a while ago because it's like speaking something that's already true. The sky is blue or appears blue to us because of refraction.
Yes,
I
yes.
love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to have to cut it. I mean, we could probably talk for hours,
No.
but there
Yes,
is
we
a plane
could.
waiting for me, and I'm so, so grateful. You have given, as I knew you would, so many gifts, almost just priceless, countless gifts here in this conversation for whoever may listen and watch, because we don't know. And we were saying this before I hit record, is we're just showing up and having a conversation and bringing our open hearts and sharing with you whatever comes through, you being the listener
Yes.
and watcher. And we don't know what the ripple effects are. We don't know where this is going to go. We just trust that we're saying the things that want to be said and that it will get to whoever needs it. And that's the magic right there. That's exactly what you're talking about, is what you declared. It's perfect and beautiful, and I'm grateful, and I honor you and adore you. And I'm going to send you, okay, wait, is there anything you want people to know before I send you back to the green room for a moment?
No, no, I want you to get on your flight. And I know that I just know, I just want to thank you. That's what I want to do. I want to thank you for sharing your energy with me, because this was absolutely beautiful, and I couldn't have spent my the time that we have spent together in such a loving and wonderful space. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. That's so beautiful. Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's nowhere I'd rather be. I was so looking forward to this conversation, and it's so appreciated and beautiful, and I'm so grateful. And I will put your TikTok and your YouTube in the show notes for when it goes out, so we won't even deal with
Yes.
that now. And I will
Perfect.
talk to you momentarily. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, beautiful. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoyed this episode and it helped you open your heart, feel inspired, and know that we are all connected. Please subscribe and share so this work can touch more people. This is how we co-create the world we want to live in. Thank you so much again for joining us, and talk to you next time.